وجب الشكر علينا ما دعا لله داع أيها المبعوث فينا جئت بالأمر المطاع جئت شرفت المدينة مرحبا يا خير داع.
Assalamu alaikum everybody and welcome back to the Y Factor. I am joined on the phone today with Karanda from Fifth Dimension. Assalamu alaikum, Karanda.
Alaikum salam wa rahmatullah. How are you?
Good, thank you. So I did hear that recently you did return from a trip from Burma, and you discovered a lot of things down there, specifically to do with the Rohingya people. Is that right?
That's correct, yeah.
So what are you doing with the Fifth Dimension to help out the Rohingya people in Burma?
Well, we've already started working on this project a few months back, but our next big fundraising program is on the 1st and 2nd of June.
Yep.
And we're calling it FREESTYLIN Burma.
Yep.
And it's really about fulfilling our vision to assist those most needy people at the moment in what we call Arakan State in Burma or
Yep.
Myanmar. And those people right now, I would agree with what the United Nations has described them as the most oppressed people in the world, because not only are they denied an identity, a right to live in their own homeland, and I suppose, the dignity of being regarded as a human being, they're also being killed, massacred, women and children burned alive, and everybody there is on alert, because another incident could spark up any moment, because the Rohingya people are basically defenseless. They have no one helping them. They have no outside assistance. They got no country speaking up for them. And so right now, I mean, personally, I feel that Australian Muslims, if more than any people in the world, because we're so lucky here and we have so much blessings from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we have a responsibility to help these people, because no one else is helping them. And what I saw in the camps was atrocious and appalling and shocking. So that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to raise more money to assist them urgently, and our main project at the moment is to give them some medical and educational development, which is lacking in the camps.
Yeah. Before we go on and talk about the event that's coming up on the 1st of June, I'd just like to speak to you again about your experiences within Burma. Just to begin, why exactly are the Rohingya people being oppressed?
Yeah, see, the interesting thing here is the propaganda that's being spread out by the what we call the Rakhine people, or the Buddhists in that state, is that the Rohingya people are illegal immigrants from Bangladesh, which is a big lie. Historically, it's very much proven that the Rohingya people were established in Arakan State in the 8th and 9th centuries, Common Era, so more than 1,000 years ago. And they've lived and developed side by side with the Buddhists. The Buddhists also migrated from the north. They are Sino-Tibetan people. They're not originally from that area. Everyone's migrated from somewhere. But we're talking thousands of years here of a history where these people have lived, grown, and developed their homes and land, and if anything, they are indigenous to that area. So once Burma was formed, and Burma was only formed in the late 1800s, when Burma actually invaded the area. So when they annexed the area, they became a part of Burma. And so now the Burmese government are denying them Burmese nationality, and so they're a stateless people. So what the Buddhists are doing at the moment are they're capitalizing on this stateless nature that they've been given, and they're trying to drive them out. And so basically it's ethnic cleansing, but they're using different techniques, but one of them is to push them into a corner in a part of the country which is next to the ocean. And so they're saying, look, there's the sea, get a boat and leave this country or we'll kill you.
Oh my God. Well, Latif, that sounds terrible. Are they offered any kind of services or aid or anything like that?
Well, alhamdulillah, I was there just over 2 weeks ago, and I visited the camp, so I went directly into the heart of where the problems are, and I'm just in the process of finishing off a documentary that I've about the situation there. So inshallah, that will be available soon on YouTube, and we'll be launching it at the dinner. But look, there are international NGOs there, mostly United Nations, Red Cross, Save the Children. Unfortunately, all the Muslim NGOs have been driven out, so there are no Muslim NGOs allowed to work in Burma, except for Mercy Malaysia, which is a Malaysian NGO, but it's operated by Buddhists. But the sad thing is that the Burmese government is stopping Muslim organisations working there, so they have to do it through a third party, doing it surreptitiously. So there is help getting through. The main assistance that's been coming through from the World Food Programme is that the refugees have access to rations of rice, oil and salt. Other than that, they have to just improvise and grow their own food or do what they can. And it's a very desperate situation. We have 115,000 people crammed in an open-air prison, and those people have besides a couple of medical clinics that are sort of working ad hoc, they haven't got any direct supply connection to the hospital. They can't access medical supplies. I mean, we're talking about Panadols and things like that. That's the best they get. And we've got people dying from malaria. We've got people with serious eye infections and skin irritations. We've got people who are suffering from terrible trauma. They have no access to counselling and psychological assistance. And there are people and mainly children, who are malnourished. And you'll see that in the video footage that a lot of children have bloated stomachs because of the malnutrition. So access to clean water and education is another issue. So these are some of the major problems that the international organisations aren't providing. I mean, they're providing a bit of food and some building materials and tents, but it's very scant. It's 115,000 people, and I'd say maybe 30% of those people are actually being directly assisted, whereas the other 70% are doing the best with whatever they can find.
Wow, Tiffy, it does sound truly terrible. But alhamdulillah, there are some people working towards it, and the event on the 1st of June is a step forward. What exactly will the event entail?
Well, look, I suppose there's very different ways to approach this issue, and I think our organisation's pretty creative, and we're appealing to a young audience on this occasion. Yep. We've got international hip hop artist Khalil Ismail.
Oh, wow.
I think if you listen to his work on YouTube, it's very inspirational. I think he's one of the few religious hip hop artists out there. But also we've got Muslim Revert, who's French, Julien Drolon. This is the first time for us to have someone of his background here in Australia. Yeah. And then of course we got local artists, comedian Khalid Khalafallah. Of course everybody knows Khalid. Yep. And we've got the Brothahood, and also a good friend of mine, Matuse.
Yes.
So all these guys are from the Muslim community here. We're all working together. It's a local. I mean, you could say it's local artists with international artists combining to make a difference for Burma. And in this instance, we want the young people out there on the 1st of June in Fairfield at the what's the place called, the Grand Paradiso reception centre. Yep. And then the next day we want a bigger crowd at the Grand West Tower. So in Lidcombe on the 2nd, which is starts at 4 o'clock. So same sort of situation. There'll be food and lots of snacks and refreshments available. Yep. There'll be other little things on sale. So it'll be a good event, and I think everybody will enjoy it. At the same time, you know that 100% of those funds will be going to the Muslims who are suffering the Rohingya Muslims who are suffering in Burma. And as I said in the beginning, they don't have any natural allies. No one is helping them. They have the most desperate situation I've ever seen before. I've gone to many countries. I've travelled to many places. I've been to Palestine. I've been to Syria. And these people, at least there's a lot of international helpers, whereas the Rohingya Muslims, they haven't got anyone helping them, and that's why I appeal to the Muslim Australians here to really put out their hearts and put some money into the bucket and inshallah help these people. I think we can make a big difference. We're only talking about $50,000 or $60,000 to build a clinic and employ two medical doctors. That's what we're talking about. We're not talking about a lot of money.
Oh wow, yeah. I mean, it sounds like pretty much the essentials, the basic essentials.
Yeah, look, I think we take it for granted, but we have Medicare here. We've got a doctor, and if we have a slight cough, we just walk straight up to the medical centre, and 5 minutes later, you've seen a doctor. You got the pharmacies where you can get medicine, and of course, we got schools. We go to all our kids go to school. Alhamdulillah, we have a very blessed situation here, but that is not happening and this is a deliberate plan by the Burmese government. They don't want them to have access to education. They don't want them to have access to medical because they want them to leave the country. They want them to say, life here is too tough, I'm going to leave. But at the same time, if we establish those schools and those medical centres, then that can at least give them some type of normalcy and some type of hope, because that will keep them going, and that will keep them saying, well, look, I want to keep my family here. I don't want to leave my country, because if everybody leaves their country, then the Burmese would have won. They would have got what they wanted, and that is to get rid of Muslims from Burma. There's over 1 million Muslims in Burma, so why should the Burmese Muslims leave? That's their country. Yeah. So let's all try and help out and do our best.
I completely agree, and us here at the Y Factor, we commend you guys for all the work that you are doing for the Burmese people. As you said, they are in desperate need of our help, so we do encourage all our listeners to go and attend these events, to give generously, and to help out all the organizations that have given all their time and effort and money and courage up for these people in need. So, Jazakallah khairan, Kuranda, for coming on and enlightening our listeners about the desperate situation in Burma. I'm sure that we need as much coverage as possible on the situation, as well as on what appears to be a fantastic event happening on the 1st and 2nd of June. Is that right?
That's right. So we can go to Wayakum, by the way, but if you go to our website at Freestyle Burma, freestyleburma.com, you can see all the details there, and also our Facebook page. Yep. But I want to say one last thing, and that is, we are young, we are blessed in this life, and for us to put out our assistance and our support for those people is actually an investment into the Akhirah, into the next life. Yep, so remember that whatever we do in this world, if we do our best to work for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and to do service for the sake of the ummah, then that is only an investment into the next world, because this is a transitory world. We're only here for a very short time. Everything is a test for us, and this is a big test for us right now. The Burmese Muslims are looking towards the Western Muslims in the world, and this is a big test for all of us.
It is, and I'm sure, inshallah, most of the Muslim community will step up to the test and will, inshallah, come to these events and give generously. But again, thank you very much for coming on the show, Kuranda. We will be posting all the links to all both events on our pages as soon as the episode goes up. Jazakallah khairan, Kuranda, and we will be back right after this break.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
وجب الشكر علينا لا دعا لله داع.
Well, hello again, audience. Thank you for listening in to the Y Factor on 87.7